Hey, Dr. Lau. Before I get the video started, I'm recording this after this clip here. I'm recording this after I already did the assignment, and as I was rewatching it after I put all the clips together, I realized the first thing I said is I called you by another teacher's name, and I just immediately want to apologize for that. It's very late. You can tell I'm tired. It's very late at night. I called you by the wrong teacher's name. I apologize for that. Hello, Mr. Wynn. Welcome to my little assessment here, where I'm going to be teaching you about piecewise functions. So we had to pick out of the two of these problems here, and I'm going to be teaching you. You already know how to do it, obviously, but I'm going to be teaching you how to do the first one here. So I'm going to write this down real quick, and then we'll continue from there. So something to take a note is that if you have a colored highlighter or something like that to mark which one is which, it's just a little bit easier to organize. So you'll have a different color for each one of these lines here. I don't have any of those, so it's fine. I'm just going to stick with my my Barbie princess pencil or Disney princess pencil. But anyways, let's get started here. So you give us a list of variables that we're going to plug into the x's here, which personally this was really simple to me. So hopefully it should be simple to you. So the first one he gave us is f, and then -10. So, and you give us a bunch, so that's why the comma there. Now what we do here is we're going to look at the right side of each one of these, and then we're going to fill in -10 for the x to see if it fits. So -10, is that greater than or equal to 5? It is not. So we're going to go down one. -2, is that less than or equal to -2? It is not. So, of course, that means it's probably going to have to be the third one, but let's just make sure. So, is -10 less than or equal to -2? It is. So now that we know -10 is going to go here because it fits in, we're going to plug it in to this one here on our left. So, we're going to write down here 10 plus 2x, which is this -10 here, squared, and that, if you plug it into a calculator, right now I'm recording with my phone, which is my calculator, so that gives us 210. Now that's pretty simple. We've done this math before, so you're basically just finding out wherever this x goes in here, figuring out which one it fits, and then sending it into the left side here. The next one you give us is -4.5. So what we're going to do here is we're going to see which one it fits into. So is -4.5 greater than 5? It is not. Will it fit in here? It also won't. So again, same thing with the last one. We're still going to make sure. -4.5, is that less than or equal to -2? It is, meaning we're going to fill it in with this one again. So 10 plus 2, -4.5, squared. Now again, same thing with the calculator issue. I don't have the calculator, so I can't plug it in with you guys, but if you plug this into the calculator, it should give you 50.5 or 50.5. So we're just going to keep on chugging along here. The next one we have is -2. So right off the bat, I can see down here, -2 is less than or equal to -2. So obviously, -2 is equal to -2, meaning we're, again, going to fill it in with this third one here. So if we were to have had like highlighters or colored pencils or something like that, I would highlight this and make sure they're all the same color. That way I know at least these three go into that third column. So we're going to fill out 10 plus 2, -2 squared. Now that is going to give us 18. This next one here is 0, so it's not going to go in the first one, but it will fit in the second one. And it could also go in the third one, but to me, it's just the second one's the most simple, so that's what that's going to be the one that I put it into. So I'm going to go down here. It's create a little separation between the third line here, between the second one, and I'm going to write negative x, which would be negative 0, which is just 0, that's impossible, squared plus 3. So, again, this one's also pretty simple. That would just give you 0 squared is still 0 plus 3, which is 3. So there's your answer here. I'm going to put this one in parentheses just so you know that's the x. That one's also pretty simple. Next one is 2. F2. So, it does not fit in the first one, but it fits in the second one. So, again, luckily, they're right next to each other, which is pretty nice. It's also this middle one here, second one. So we're going to write negative 2, not squared, sorry, cubed plus 3, and that's going to end up giving you negative 5 once you plug it all into a calculator. The next one we have here is 5, and that one, right off looking at the bat, it is less than or equal to 5, so I'm going to plug in for that one. Well, actually, no, this one's even simpler, so I'm just going to do the first one here. That way I don't have to worry about the negative 2 or this cube root here. So I'm going to plug in 3, or sorry, I'm going to plug in 5 for this x here, meaning I'm probably going to do this one over here. So 3 times 5, which is our x value, negative 3. That's pretty easy. That's 15 minus 3, meaning our answer here is 12. Our last value we have here is 7.5. And right off the bat, 7.5 is greater than 5, and it's not going to fit in any of the other ones. So I'm going to write, might as well just go right below this one, 3x, our x is 7.5, minus 3, and that will end up giving us 19.5. So that is the last of the examples he gave us here. Hopefully it's easy. Hopefully you understand. Just a quick little recap. You have your value here, your x, whatever one it fits into. It can fit into multiple, just pick one. Doesn't really matter. You'll get the same answer. Just send it over to the left side, plug in the x with whatever this value is, and then solve that, and that'll give you your answer. The next one we have here is systems of equations. And out of the two you gave us to choose from, I chose to do the second one. So I'm going to write it down real quick and get it on this paper so I can continue to teach you how to do this. Okay, so we have the 3 lines here, and I'm going to just to make it simple, it works for me. Again, having a highlighter just like the last one would make it very easy, or easier at least, to kind of split it apart. But again, I don't have any highlighters or any colored pencils or anything like that, so I'm just going to write, this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3. This is just going to help us keep track whenever we combine some of them, which I'll get into in a second. Whenever we combine some of them, we know which ones we're working with without having to look at each individual number and letter to make sure it's the right one. So the first thing we're going to do is just combine 1 and 2, and the reason why I'm going to do that is try to see, these numbers are pretty close. One's a negative, one's a positive, which makes it pretty simple, and I'll explain why that makes it pretty simple in a second. So I'm going to combine 1 and 2. I just want to write that down there just so I know, again, which ones I'm working with. And that means it's 4x plus y minus 6z equals minus 1, 14. Again, obviously I'm just moving this over. And then 2, which is the middle one here, I'm just going to do minus 2x plus 3y minus 2z is equal to negative 28. So what we're going to do next is, like I said, this x, I'm going to get rid of this x. So what I'm going to do, or what I have to think first is, okay, what can I do to one or both of these numbers that makes it so I can cancel them out? And the first thing that comes to mind is multiplying this bottom row by 2, the whole thing. And the reason why I would do that and not do anything in the top one is just because this bottom one's already negative. So I don't have to do anything else extra to that. So what I'm going to do is put this whole thing in brackets here and then multiply it by 2. But what I'm going to do before that, technically don't have to, it just makes it a little bit easier to see, is I'm just going to bring this down. So I'm going to write it down again, 4x plus y minus 6z equals negative 14. So I'm just bringing that down, and then I'm going to solve this here. So what is 2 times negative 2x? That would be negative 4x. And you could already see how this is going to cancel out, but that doesn't mean you're done. You still have to continue to distribute this 2. So what you're going to get out of that is negative 2y, right? One second, let me double check. I've already done the work. I'm just teaching it off of the work I already have. No, I'm sorry, that's negative 4z. I don't know why I wrote negative 2. Yeah, or 4y, sorry. That's my mistake. So negative 4y, and then you have, and all of that is equal to 34. So, and see, while writing that down, I just realized I made a mistake. I was looking at the wrong one. That's what math is about. Math is about making mistakes. And I'm supposed to be the teacher right now, and I made a mistake. So, all of that was wrong. Well, not the first part, which is true, which is negative 4x. But then I just didn't distribute properly. So, that is going to be plus 6y, which of course makes a lot more sense. 2 times 3 is obviously 6. Then it's negative 4z is equal to minus 56. So of course that is the actual answer here, and of course that's my bad. I wasn't really thinking. But next, we're going to cross out this x here because negative 4 and 4 obviously cancels it out, meaning there's no more x. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to combine all these terms and get our fourth. Let's see, 1, 2 here, 3 here. We're going to create a new one by combining these two. So that gives us 7y. That would be negative 10z, because negative 6, negative 4. We combine these two, and that gives us negative 50. So this right here is the fourth one. And this is going to be useful in a little bit. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to combine 2 and 3. So we've already combined 1 and 2. You can go out of order. It doesn't really matter what order you go in. This is just the way I like to do it, and at least with this specific one, it makes the most sense to me. So I'm going to move this one over here, 2 and 3 again. Just marking it down so we know which ones we're working with. So that's going to be negative 2x plus 3y minus 2z is equal to minus 28. 3, that would be 3x minus 2y plus, sorry, that's not plus 2, that's plus z. Handwriting can be a little confusing sometimes when it comes to math and letters, equals 17. So we're basically doing the exact same thing. I'm going to get rid of x this time. So the way I'm going to do that is, so the reason why this one is so simple is I could just do it by 1. Just one simple number on one of them. This one, it's a little bit more complicated. Not too bad. I'm just going to have to do, wait a minute, 1 second. Let me think. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going to have to do 2. So I'm going to multiply this top one by 2 and this bottom one by 3. And that's going to give us the same number here. One's negative, obviously, because the negative 2 here. And my bad, I just made another mistake. I put the 2 up here instead of the 2 down here and the 3 up here. So just flip these 2, and then that should be correct. So same thing on this side, except we're going to have to do it to both. Just distribute for this one, this 3, across all of the numbers here, and the same thing with the 2. So I'm going to do that real quick. That's going to give you negative 6x plus 9y minus 6z is equal to negative 84. So you're gonna move down because that's this top row here. That's it. That's the 3 being distributed. Now the 2, Sorry, I'm talking a little weird. It's a little late at night. I usually go to bed at 10 o'clock. It's 11:05 right now. Bottom one, 2, and then 3. So that's going to give us 6x minus 4y plus 2z is equal to 34. So we're going to combine our terms here. The x is going to cancel out. That's going to give us, what is that going to give us? 5y. Before I continue on any further, I'm just going to draw a line here just to create a little bit of separation here. So this thing is 5y minus 4z is equal to negative 50. So this is also something we're going to use. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this one in underneath the 4th line here. And so the reason why I'm going to do that is because both of them don't have an x, making it a lot easier to single out. Which one do I want to solve for? I'm going to solve for y in this one. So I'm going to go 5y. All I'm doing is just bring this one up here. It'd probably be easier to, I'm going to call this one 5, of course. It'd probably be easier to separate it for some of you, but for me it's already right here, so I'm just going to continue just going down the line here. So 5y minus 4z, making sure you're still recording real quick, minus 4z is equal to negative 50. And boom, while I'm sitting here, I just realized I made another mistake. This is why I shouldn't be looking at my other work and essentially just walking through what I already did, just writing it down, because that's how I make mistakes. This, for equation 4, is negative 70, not negative 50. I was looking at this one over here. But again, that's just a simple fix, for me at least. So now we're going to continue on with what we have here. So if I want to get rid of the z here, what I'm going to have to do is multiply this top one. I'm gonna erase this negative, or it's not this negative, sorry. I'm gonna erase this 4 here, just give myself a little bit more room. I'm just gonna move it over here. So I'm gonna multiply this whole thing by negative 4, and then this one on the bottom here by 10. Close it in. The reason why one of them is negative is because they're both negative, meaning one of them is going to have to end up being positive. So that's why double negative makes a positive. So now we're just going to distribute here, and that's going to give us, for the first one, negative 28. That's not a 2. Negative, I'm sorry. It's late. Negative 28y plus 40z is equal to 280. And on the bottom row here, it's going to be 50y minus 40z is equal to minus 500. So these two, the z is going to cancel out. And that's going to give us 22y is equal to negative 220. So we're just combining these and bringing them down. That gives us 22y, negative 220. In order to get rid of this, these numbers here, we're just going to divide by 22 on each side, and that's going to give us y equals 10. I'm going to circle that so we know which one we have. So now that we have at least one of our variables, we're going to plug it into another one, and I'm going to do, which one am I going to do? Let's do equation 4. I'm going to plug in the y on equation 4, because the x is already gone, and if you fill in the y, this is going to make it pretty easy to figure out what the z is. So if I go down here, 7, so this is equation 4, or not equation, but the line 4 here. I'm going to plug in for x, or sorry, for y, this 10 here. So 7, and then, oops, it's a negative 10, my bad. Negative 10 minus 10z is equal to negative 70. So we're just going to basically do the same thing we already have, but we're going to combine these like terms. That's going to give us negative 70 minus 10z is equal to negative 70. And once we get that, we're going to move this normal number over here, right over to over here. So we're going to add 70 plus 70. And that's a little bit of an issue. That's negative 10z is equal to 0. That's not how it works. If you divide by negative 10, that's a little bit of an issue. That means 0 is equal to, z is equal to 0. And boom, that one is really simple. So now we have our y and our z. And in order to find the x value, we're just going to plug it into another one. I'm just going to do, we haven't seen the first one in a while, so we're going to use this one. So 4x plus, that's going to be negative 10, so in parentheses, negative 10, because that's our y value, minus 6, 0, because that's our z value, is equal to negative 14. Just again, double check and see if you're recording. My phone does not like to record long videos. Once we're done with that, we're just going to combine our like terms. So that's going to give us 4x minus 10. And obviously, negative 6 times 0 is 0. You can't multiply by 0. I mean, you can. It just always gives you 0. And so it's going to be 4x minus 10 equals negative 14. You're going to add the 10 on this side in order to bring it over to this side. That's going to give you 4x is equal to 4 divided by 4 divided by 4. X is equal to 1. X is equal to negative 1. I'm sorry. This is a negative 4. Negative 1. Boom. I couldn't finish this last thing without making a mistake. So now that you have all three variables here, you're going to want to put them in a little bit of a pair. So it's I guess it's easier to read. I don't know. It's just what you taught us to do. X, and of course it's alphabetical order X, Y, Z. Negative 1 is our X. Our Y is negative 10. And our Z is 0. So this right here will be your final answer.